Welcome to the official channel of Stack Theory. If your brain still sees cash as safety, we need to talk. Have you ever felt like you're working harder, earning more, yet somehow falling behind? Like your bank account says one thing, but your life says another? That's not paranoia. That's your brain finally noticing a quiet robbery happening right in front of you. In this video, I'm going to open your brain to what inflation actually is. Not the textbook definition, but the mechanical way it reaches into your wallet and steals from your future without you ever signing permission. Look at your bank account. Same number as yesterday. You feel fine. But here's the lie. Your money just died a little while you slept. Not dramatically, quietly, legally. Take a $100 bill from 1995. Back then, it could buy 60 gallons of milk. Today, maybe 25. The bill didn't change. The number didn't change. The value evaporated. That's inflation. And if you don't understand how it works on your money, you are volunteering to be poorer every single year. By the end of this video, your brain will see your paycheck, your savings, and your debt in a completely different way. Most YouTube videos will tell you that inflation means prices go up. That's like saying a fever is the illness. No. The fever is the symptom. Inflation is the expansion of the money supply that makes each existing dollar worth less. Think of a crowded pool. More water pours in. The water level rises, but every swimmer gets pushed down. When the government prints new money, it doesn't appear evenly. It enters through banks, stimulus, bond buying. By the time it reaches your grocery store, the damage is done. You don't feel a pinch. You feel a dilution. Once this clicks in your brain, you stop blaming the grocery store and start understanding the central bank. That's the shift I want for you. History gives us extreme examples. In 1923 Germany, a loaf of bread cost 200 billion marks. People burned cash for heat because it was cheaper than buying wood. In Zimbabwe, hyperinflation made trillion-dollar notes worthless. Extreme? Yes. But the mechanism is identical to what happens at 2% inflation, just faster. Look at the U.S. money supply from 2000 to today. From 2020 to 2022 alone, the U.S. printed nearly 40% of all dollars ever created. That money didn't disappear. It went first into stocks and real estate, then slowly into your rent and chicken wings. Inflation is not a tide that lifts all boats. It lifts the boats that are already floating on assets and sinks the ones anchored in cash. Let that land in your brain for a moment. Now let's talk about the three personal impact zones: savings, salary, and debt. First, savings. You have $10,000 in a high-yield savings account at 0.5% interest. Inflation is 6%. Your real return is negative 5.5%. That's a loss of $550 per year in purchasing power. You would never accept a savings fee of $550, but you're paying it anyway. The government calls 2% inflation healthy, but over 30 years, 2% inflation destroys 45% of your cash's value. At 6%, it destroys 83%. Your emergency fund is an emergency. Does that open your brain a little wider? Second, your salary. Your boss calls you in and gives you a 3% raise. You smile. But inflation was 5%. You just took a real pay cut. Your nominal wage went up. Your real wage went down. This is why people feel angry even when the economy is growing. GDP can go up while your personal buying power goes down. Inflation is a transfer of wealth from wage earners to asset owners. Most people work harder every year only to tread water. Once you see this, you stop asking for a raise and start asking why your money is being diluted. Third, debt. Here is the twist that breaks your brain. If you have a fixed-rate mortgage at 3% and inflation is 6%, you are paying back the bank with dollars that are worth less than the ones you borrowed. Inflation rewards fixed-rate borrowers and punishes lenders and savers. If you borrowed $200,000 in 2020 and inflation runs hot for 5 years, your real debt burden shrinks. The bank loses. You win as long as you kept the asset. This is why wealthy people borrow during high inflation. They take cheap money, buy hard assets, and let inflation melt the debt away. The poor can't borrow. The middle class borrows for consumption, cars, and credit cards. The rich borrow for assets. That perspective shift is exactly what Theory Stack is about. Inflation also changes your psychology. It creates a buy now or pay more later panic. That panic is rational, but it can lead to bad decisions, like hoarding toilet paper, buying a car you don't need, or jumping into speculative assets. In a stable economy, patience is a virtue. In an inflationary one, patience is a tax. You are forced to become an investor even if you don't want to be. You have to put your money somewhere that outruns the printer. Cash becomes a melting ice cube. I want your brain to see cash not as safety, but as a ticking clock. Here is the Theory Stack framework. Most people spend their lives stacking the wrong blocks. They hold cash because it feels safe. They buy liabilities like cars and gadgets because they feel rich. But the real store of value is assets that produce or appreciate. Inflation-resistant assets include productive businesses, real estate with rent, tips, commodities like gold and energy, and your own high-income skill. Inflation-agnostic assets like long-term bonds get hurt. And inflation-destroyed assets include cash under the mattress, low-yield savings, and fixed pensions without cost of living adjustments. You don't need to be a genius. You need to understand one equation. Your money's growth rate must exceed the inflation rate. If it doesn't, you are losing, not eventually, but immediately. That equation will live in your brain forever now. So, what do you actually do? Step 1. Audit your cash drag. Take your savings account, subtract inflation from its interest rate. That negative number is your loss. Keep only 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash. The rest must be deployed. Step 2. Own productive assets. Stocks are ownership of companies that raise prices. Real estate rents go up with inflation. Even a side business that prices in real time protects you. Inflation passes through. You want to be on the receiving end of that pass-through. Step 3. Borrow wisely. If you have high-interest consumer debt, kill it. But if you can borrow at a fixed low rate to buy an asset that appreciates, that's a hedge. Step 4. Increase your personal pricing power. Your labor is an asset. Can you raise your rate faster than inflation? Learn a skill that's scarce. Inflation rewards the irreplaceable. Every one of these steps is a new neural pathway I'm trying to build in your brain. Inflation isn't a mysterious force. It's a transfer mechanism. It takes from the financially static and gives to the financially dynamic. You don't have to be rich to win. You just have to stop treating cash like a destination and start treating it like fuel. That's the kind of brain shift I make videos for. If this opened up your thinking even a little, I'd really appreciate you hitting subscribe. It helps me keep making content that cracks your old models open and builds better ones. Stack your theory, stack your assets. I'll see you in the next video.